Times.
Welcome back. Even as world attention is now focused on natural disasters in Asia, environmentalists are warning of a return of the choking haze in the region due to an extended dry season in Indonesia. And as our producer Shamala Rajendran found out, there's no easy solution to the haze problem, so long as the age-old slash-and-burn land clearing method among farmers in Indonesia remains unchecked.
For more than 3 weeks, raging fires have been threatening to ravage the small village of Desa Sering in Pelalawan, Indonesia. The fires, which were set deliberately to clear land for commercial purposes, consumed the surrounding forested areas before burning its way into the village. Help came through in the form of the local fire services RAPP and a Singapore-based paper and pulp company April, who operates one of the biggest paper plants in Sumatra. Providing firefighting machinery and expertise, the team managed to contain the fires, at least for now.
Sudah berapa kali orang ini membantu untuk memadam api di dalam gambut, tetapi namun api di dalam gambut tetap dia menjalar di dalam tanah. Panasnya terlampau tinggi, sekitar lebih kurang 4 bulan daerah kami. Ini panas telah gini, yang tidak ada punya hujan terus-menerus jadi sehingga lahan gambut ini kering, sehingga bunga api itu dia bisa terbang, dia bisa hinggap lagi.
The problem has been aggravated by farmers in the provinces of Sumatra and Kalimantan, who resort to a method they know best, slash and burn, which becomes rampant during the dry seasons that last from July to September. Flames will continue to smolder deep beneath the highly flammable peatland for weeks, releasing enormous levels of carbon dioxide and thick smoke that contributes to the recurrent haze problem in Singapore and Malaysia.
Really, very little has changed. There's been many efforts, but primarily people are clearing the land with fire because there's no other alternative for the poorest communities to use. So the alternative that is available, like we use in RAPP, is to use mechanical excavators, mechanical methods to clear the land. Communities don't have the money for this.
Most farmers in the Riau province earn a paltry income. Many villagers succumb to the pressures of supporting their large families and illegally sell community land to commercial companies. The companies further exploit the situation by getting the farmers to raze the forest and prepare the land for them to grow cash crops like oil palm and rubber.
Kita sudah mensosialisasikan terhadap masyarakat, tapi masyarakat pengertian kurang ngerti sebenarnya. Sebenarnya lahan kebakar ini saya kalau dari masyarakat sekali sebenarnya tidak ada, adalah terjadinya pada penjual lahan masyarakat itu terhadap pada orang-orang luar.
When property rights are not well defined, when you're not sure of holding on to a piece of land in the long term, you indulge in practices that are somewhat harmful to the environment. And it's not simply slash and burn that is bad, it's the extent of slash and burn. If you had slash and burn in a very limited way and then the land was allowed to heal itself while you moved on, so it's a combination of growing population pressures, not well-defined rights to the land, and the lack of alternative employment opportunities, and also partly maybe a lack of awareness.
Brad Sanders, who works as a fire safety manager with the paper company April, believes that commercial organizations can support local communities by adopting sustainable solutions. April, which runs a paper plant in Riau, has been assisting locals with land and fire management and the appropriate machinery to contain forest fires while providing them with the training and education on alternative methods of land clearing.
The crux of the problem is having the available money from to do the alternative, which is mechanical land clearing. Even before mechanical land clearing, we must look at a holistic, sustainable land use plan for the village. And based on the recent fire hazard that it resulted, I hope very soon we can begin this process with Desa Sering in order to more improved land management plan for that village that perhaps will include alternatives to burning for them.
While exploring alternatives, a new environment bill was passed on 9 September 2009, giving the Indonesian Environment Ministry the power to revoke polluters' business licenses and arrest people suspected of damaging the environment. The new law also stipulates sanctions for local and central government officials who issue land use permits without following proper procedures.
I don't really think that the new bill is the real answer because it's rather regulatory in approach. It's rather command and control in approach. And I just don't think that having more rules and regulations by themselves will help. They have to be coupled with incentives, with economic opportunities, and with the know-how. So it's a multi-pronged approach to a multifaceted problem. And I just don't think that using the rules and regulations or the legalistic approach is going to be able to solve by itself.
It has been over a decade since the transboundary haze pollution wreaked environmental havoc in the region, but Indonesians are still battling the scourge. The ability to control the environmental disaster is further hampered by the lack of strong and effective enforcement measures. A more pressing need, however, would be to focus on fire prevention rather than control.